Hello and welcome to this part in which we will learn about looping in C programming language. As I have told in my earlier tutorials, C programming language has got three types of loops: for loop, while loop and do while loop. For loop is most versatile in among all three loops. Great computer scientist Discastra used to say two or more use of for. So we will study for loop as our first loop, and then this looping tutorial is split into two parts. In the first part we will study for loop, and in the second part we will study while and do while. So I have written this sample program for you to see and examine for yourself. We will also learn about several operators which we studied in operators and operands. So the first part is pretty simple. I have written a for loop: int I is equal to 0, int k is equal to 0, two variables. Then I have written for I is equal to 0, I less than 0, I plus plus. A for loop has three parts separated by semicolon: this part, and this part. This part is called initialization part. This is your comparison part, and this is your increment or decrement part. The body of a for loop consists of a brace pair, and if there is no brace pair, there will be a single line. It will follow only up to single line. Same as if. If will also have a body within a pair of brace or one line. So this we see that I is equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. So in the first run, it will start from 0. It will check if 0 is less than 10 or not, and then it will enter the loop, and then it will increment. So let's see what is the output. You see, 0 to 9 it prints. When it hits 9 and it is incremented to 10, then this condition stops the execution of loop. This is called terminating condition. Initialization happens only once, only in the first run. So let's say if we say I is equal to 2, see what happens. So it starts from 2, goes up to 9. Let us see a construct this one. In this you can see a very important point is that I have declared the variable j right here. This is called loop variable. Its life will expire after this loop. That is, you will not be able to make use of the name j. And also note, I have not used brace. So let's try to run this. Okay, one important point here, I'll show you. Let it run. Okay. It should say, oh, it will not give any output because j is less than 0. So I'll make it 10. And then run it. So you can see its output as follows. It also shows 0 to 9. Now if I say this is less than 0, then in the first run itself 0 is not less than 0, it is violated and it will print nothing. However, one more important point. If you make a plain project and try to run this program, it will not work, because this type of block variable declaration has come in C99. So what you need to do is, you need to say file, you need to open your project, you need to go to properties, and inside C++ build settings, you see we have our Cvideo C compiler and we have our flags. Here you need to pass this parameter -std is equal to C99. Otherwise it will give you a compilation error. As we have seen two loops, let's see another. In this one I have used ++i. Let's try to run this and see if it has any effect on the output. You see 0 to 9, so no effect on output. However, there is a minor difference between and I++, that is the way they are incremented or decremented. Increments before use, and prefix, this is prefix increments before use, and postfix increment after use. Let us proceed and try to see another for loop. In this I have introduced two loop variables and postfix negation operator, as well as I have introduced two terminating conditions bound by a logical AND operator, and we have two initialization. This is a comma operator. We have two initializers, k is equal to 10, I is equal to 10, and this must be true for the loop to continue. So let's try and run this. So we see 10 to 1 we have printed, right? Let's say I make it 20. You see what happens. This starts from 20 and 11. At this point k becomes 0 and this evaluates to false. Therefore it will not go inside the loop. Let us proceed further and try to analyze another loop. This is a nested for loop, that is a for loop inside a for loop. So we have the outer loop, we have the inner loop, and we have the values. Let's see what is the output. We see I starts from 0 and remains 0. That is, for 0 value of I, the inner loop will run 5 times, 0 to 4, and then I will be incremented, outer loop counter will be incremented to 1, and then again inner will be reset to 0 and it will continue till 4, 0 to 4, and then again I will increase, and then again inner will do a full run. Then again this will happen till the outer's condition is fulfilled for termination. Now let us see one of the compound assignment operators and the break operator. The initializer is I is equal to 10 and I has been tested to be less than 10, and I write I plus is equal to 2. This means I is equal to I plus 2. So increment will happen in steps of 2. And then I say if I is less than 5, print it, otherwise break the loop. Let's see what happens. So we get 0 to 4. Okay. Now after this I say printf d comma I, and let's see what happens. You see, it says 0, then 0 is printed. First 0, second 0, 2 and 2, 4 and 4. That means when it became 6, it went to else. So it said break, and it won't execute the loop. It will break out of loop. Similarly, we move forward and we see the continue statement. What continue statement does is, it will not allow you to remaining instruction of the loop. So I start from 0, go up till 10, and if it is less than 5, I don't want to print it, so I have used continue, and if it is greater than 5, I'll print this. Let's see. So see, 5 and greater, it is printing. So continue allows you to bypass the remaining instruction of the loop. Okay. Next is go to. We have seen the break, that it allows you to break out of loop. But say we have nested loops like 2 for here, and I want to jump out of both the loops, then how would you do this? The way to do this is, start from I is equal to 0, I less than 10, and then 5. I say when I is not equal to I is not less than 5, that is I is greater than or equal to 5, then go to label. It starts from 0, so up to 4 it will print, after that it will not print. So up to 4 it has printed, after that the control has gone to label and the program has terminated. So that's all from my side regarding the looping techniques of for. The only point I will emphasize is, because that is very important, is this part. You should always use local loop counters to that loop as much as possible, because you would want to save memory. Second point, you should always try to make it register, because most of the time loop counters are integers, most of the time. So these two are my practical advices. See you in the second part of looping techniques, in which we will study while and do while. Thanks. Happy coding.